Yes, he is. He forgot to change it before the Zoom got away with it.
Yeah.
It's
Wonder how many Chris Watson.
He's known as AI6U in the radio world.
Yeah.
Did you ever heard of that character? Gotta
Yeah,
watch
he's
out
a
for
pretty
him.
famous guy.
I heard some stories about him. Yeah, I don't know if they're all true, but
You mean the one about the Three Stooges answering the phone for him?
that guy, yeah. He's got Larry and Moe and Curly.
Larry, Curly, and Moe.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop a note here to Phil just to make sure he's got the correct.
Didn't forget the date. Yeah, I actually got it.
Well, the thing about it is that I got a kickback. I just discovered. I've been out of town. I just got back very late last night, actually this morning.
You sound like you're still in wherever you're not. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
acclimated.
I'm still adjusting to California. But anyways, I got a kickback. I got a kickback on an email to Phil, which was very odd. So
really?
Yeah, I need to make sure he's even got the invite here. So let's do this.
1, 2. What's the date today? Today is the 7th. Of course, yes. Can't forget what day it is.
Arbor Day.
Oh, that's right. By the way, they're up there on the air. I get the Battleship Iowa is on. I haven't heard them yet, but they're up on their military frequency. They're cross banding what they're doing. They got a permit from the FCC to do this. Oh, in-person meeting. There we go. That's what I should write.
Does anybody have Phil's direct line by chance? They could just shoot him a text message.
Mike, is Mike here? LQ?
I don't have it.
You know.
I'm here, but I don't have it.
Get on your bike and ride over there.
Let's do this.
You might try 916-790-8948. Might work.
All right, hang on.
Oh, that's right. You have all the numbers.
Can you give that to me one more time, please? 916.
Sure. 790-8948.
Okay, let's try this. Okay, let's see what happens.
You have reached a number.
That's the one that's going to
sometimes in service
or not. Well, I guess we get started. This is kind of off agenda, anyways. Chris, have you talked to John about how he's doing?
I talked to him Tuesday. I think it on the air. He was the second check-in. Actually, he was the last, but I moved him up the line and made him number 2. So he wouldn't have to stick around long. And he's doing okay. Millie, he called her Sergeant Millie, got him up and got him walking around the house. And he was moping and complaining to get on the air. So that's the story I got. That's what he told me. And
all right, good report. Good.
He's doing okay. So that was good news. So he's recovering as expected.
All right. So
and I said, well, I mean, I got to be careful what I say because you might be listening. So yeah, true.
Yeah, no. Well, he's not on right now, but in any case,
he said he might not be on.
Yeah, exactly. So, you want to go ahead and give us a report on the meeting minutes for the last meeting, and then while you're doing
I'll find it in a minute here. I'm
drop an email here to Phil.
Yeah, let me dig it up here. Hang on a minute. Take me a minute or two here. I got to redo this. Oh, here we go. I just stumbled on it. Wonderful. All right, here. Let's see what this thing says. I can read my own writing. That's a plus. Okay. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. Come on.
in Chicago, so I missed it.
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in attendance. AI6 read the minutes of the previous October meeting. Chris did. January 13th would be the NAQP, North America Kiwa Throat Party, at the home of N6PGQ Bob. And January meeting will be January 4th. It starts, by the way, NAQP starts at 1800 UTC to 0600. And FTC proposing the strict 60 meters. Only 2 shadows of 9 watts ERP. John talked about 125 and 50 years of amateur radio and QAT. Also discussed the Superdyne receiver. Discuss the Morse code. Oh, we discussed maybe bringing back the Morse code classes. How might we do that? And then we had the result of the CQP in October, California QSO Party. Bill KD6RM, he discussed the uses of low cost VNA and spectrum analyzers. They're the same thing. John provided snacks. And we had a total of 35 check-ins on the air W6FM net in November. So there are the minutes.
Okay.
What was the date of NATP?
At the meeting, I didn't give that, did I? November 2nd. At the location of WB6 UBK, John.
Thanks, Phil.
I see Phil's coming in.
Yeah.
Phil is entering the room now.
Hey,
Everybody just got a little smaller.
That's right.
Oh, you mean the pictures?
Yeah.
Oh,
There he is.
hey, you got Marty, you got it? Oh, hey.
Yeah, Phil, you're live. Can you hear us?
Okay, so we're all here right now.
Yeah, I think we've got a good sized crowd here on Zoom.
Yeah, we still got a few.
Yeah, so
Somebody got the.
Your audio's messed up, Phil.
Oh, that Bill, he had that problem before. Remember?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Alvin and the Chipmunk.
I kind of like it that way.
I vote we keep it.
He's
logged
gone.
out. He's gonna try it.
Reboot.
Maybe been sipping on some ether.
Reboot.
Reboot. Oh boy,
That's hysterical.
I never heard
There
that
he is.
before.
Take 2.
Maybe can I go the other way now?
There you are, Phil.
Is the audio any better?
Yes, you sound normal.
No, I didn't. I haven't heard him yet.
Well, that'll be a first.
Well, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I didn't get away. But I've been having some issues with my SBCglobal.net thing,
You said that, yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's probably the cause.
Well, as
Oh.
a matter of fact, Phil, I just saw it today, or actually just a little while ago. It got kicked back from your SBC Global, it looks like.
They're a mess. The
Yeah.
problem with it is I've had that account for 20 plus years. Can you imagine the mess getting everybody to change my email address?
Man, I hate doing that.
I did it in 2003 and 2020. Yes, when I did it. Yeah,
If you only got 2 or 3 friends, it's not a problem.
it wasn't too bad. No, it went pretty well actually. I put out the word that I was changing
You're
it.
just
I'm
bragging.
not sure I got any friends.
Yeah, well, we just assume that. By the way, I talked to one of your esteemed club members over there at River City yesterday, Tony Insect DXX.
Oh, yeah, huh?
And he told me that you were the president of that outfit. I said, wow, you got your fire hands and everything, don't you? That's good. I'm sure you're guiding it well. So,
You know, it's kind of one of those things when they're firing bullets, you got to learn how to duck.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be sure that well, huh? Make
You gotta
your
learn how to
job over
duck.
here. Yeah. Trader job pretty easy, huh? Well, it can be tricky too, but
Actually, the
You got a
treasurer
dirty
is the
one.
most difficult job
it is.
in a club.
I
You
have
know,
no doubt about it.
frankly-
Yeah.
Frankly, you become the business manager.
You are, yeah. That's a pretty big club though, isn't it? What is the membership over there now? It used to be 100 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is today, but big
I
compared to
think
us.
Phil froze.
Vaulted leader.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said good things about you. I said, okay, good. Of course, we were on the public air, so I'm sure he spoke wisely. Yeah. Anyway,
So Phil, where we were, we were waiting for you to log in there. Chris gave us the minutes report for the last meeting that we had in November, and now we're in December. This is December's meeting, and as we all may know, or maybe some of us don't know, John had a new knee replacement surgery last week. I think
How's he doing?
last
Great.
Thursday.
he,
Chris chatted with him recently.
he said Sergeant Billy was on his cage, getting him to move. And I said, you know what? We're going to promote her to what's the next rank above sergeant? Anyway,
Lieutenant.
that's what I thought. So we're going to make her a lieutenant. Yeah, that's the next rank. So I
Yeah.
think we're all in favor of that. Yeah.
You know, she could get even with him now.
Definitely.
You want to eat?
Yeah.
How about kissing my feet?
Yeah.
That did occur to me though. I thought.
Well,
Anyway, he's doing okay. He's coming along fine.
That's good.
he's still kicking. He's still
Yep, sir.
kicking, just not as high, right?
With the other lady.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did get on the air a little bit. Checked in and said howdy and all that good stuff. So then I made some remarks of, well, we don't send CW with our knees, we send it with our fist.
Unless it's the foot contest.
That's right. Well, he had to use his other foot, wouldn't he? I don't know what knee I had operated on though. I didn't ask him that.
The bad one.
Yeah, right.
So
We hope so.
Yeah, we hope so.
Well, it doesn't always work that way, does it?
No, I think they got it
It's
right.
a
though.
left-right thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe some people get, they get deflected to get the wrong one. Yeah. Mm. Oh.
Phil, do you
Anyway,
want
David,
to
you better save this meeting.
Yeah. Phil, do you want to give a treasury report now?
Let me retrieve my documents.
Okay, well, you're doing that. Hey,
I'm
Chris.
not prepared.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Are you online here? So,
Yeah.
we had. I'm gonna pop around here while Phil's doing that. So on the bug roundup, I don't see Bob on here right now, who really did a wonderful job of leading the November bug roundup.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, he promoted
Very
it.
good.
He got it organized. That he used that program for signups on operators. The chat room worked flawlessly. We still every time we do this, we're always hoping that there's no bad actors. There weren't any.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's just great to see other people, that weren't really able to maybe connect with our area. They were using the spotting aid. So, and I think that grows on that right there is something that could really be something where people anywhere around the world can get on it for spotting, right?
Yeah.
There was more
Yeah.
activity spotting, it seemed to me.
Oh, good. You think so, huh? I didn't see a lot of it myself, but because I was not around a lot, but I worked a lot of new people this year. So that was great.
There were.
David,
Well,
I'm
Well,
not
in the
guy-
sure you want to
I ran into a guy from Carmichael, KG5YVM, so. I
Yeah.
told him about the club and everything, and he sent me a card, so
Oh, nice, Chris.
gonna try and see if we can indoctrinate him.
All right, Phil, the floor is yours.
Okay, as we currently stand, our bank account balance is $8,582.58. And the last time we had an entry was for events in the month of November. And during that month, we had $131 worth of expenses and $92 worth of income. So we're actually sitting pretty well. And then the other thing you should be aware of is our current membership status. According to my records, we're hanging steady at 56 members.
That's good.
And at this point, the month of December, we should start seeing an awful lot of contributions to our treasury. We'll see how that goes. I know John gets all that information. I don't see it, but as soon as we do.
Yeah, no, we're starting to get renewals now.
I'm holding out.
Yeah, and the club has not sent any emails out to any members. It's just
So we should be looking good.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
well, thank you, Phil, for that. And I think the next topic we should address is the club leadership. We have right now a board of directors and a slate of officers that have served the last year. And it's my understanding that, and I say this qualifyingly because I haven't talked to everybody, but it's my understanding that everyone is willing to serve another year going into 2024. And one of our purposes tonight is to hold a vote for the officers and the board for 2024. I have not talked to Carol. Bob's been on our board meetings, so I believe he's good to go. Phil, you've been on our board meetings. John and Chris and I have been participating with Phil. So the only person I haven't talked to is Carol. Has anyone talked to Carol about her serving on the board for the next year?
You know, I'm trying to remember if she was present at that last meeting. Everybody at the last meeting did agree to continue to March, but I
Yeah.
don't recall,
Yeah.
as I said, that
There were
Carol
8
was
weeks.
present.
Carol was not.
Yeah, no, she wasn't there that night.
You know, sometimes it's not a good idea to not be present.
Well, that's why I try to be here. Just in case.
Can you imagine? We could make you secretary for life.
Yeah,
where
they
I
said that's what happened, but I was in person. I was there when it happened, so that's not a true
It
story.
didn't help, did it?
That's right. I was there. You invited me to the old Soviet Republic. Yeah.
Rob,
Some
I haven't seen
refreshments.
you in a while. You're looking good.
But I'm drinking my water. I'm eating my food. Nobody's trying to poison me. So far,
You could always
Not
move
yet.
to Russia.
yes. Do
just
what?
stay away from the windows.
In
Oh,
Russia,
yeah,
they
that's a good
poison you.
They tend to suck
When you
people out.
leave Russia, that they poison you. I never get that straight.
Oh,
Unless anyone's dying to do refreshments next year, I'll continue doing that.
Now, see, there's a great example of
there you go.
continuation into 2024.
We like that. We
Thank
like
you,
that,
Mike.
Mike.
Well, Mike, you need to come up with virtual refreshments since we're on here.
Well, you can mail them to us, right?
Well, I can describe the 2018 estate Solera wine that I'm drinking right now.
Ooh,
Oh, boy, you got the style there,
found a
buddy.
good one, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Have you bring that from
got
your-
some extra straws where you could share it around?
I don't think so. Can you smell it? Let's see. I'll put it.
Oh
Ooh.
man.
No,
Pass some of
sorry.
that across the wire.
So I was thinking we could perhaps, as the club, vote, because we do need to vote, and I guess conditionally vote in Carol if she accepts, because she hasn't really formally accepted the continuation to be
Yeah.
nominated in respect.
Well, call for the vote. Let's see what we get.
Well, maybe David, you should summarize the slate for everybody, just to be sure.
So our existing slate of officers for 2023, which runs through this year, is John, WB6UBK president, myself, David, K6CIM vice president, and Chris, AI6U, as the secretary, and Phil, say your call, please.
86RM.
86RM. Okay. 86RM as the treasurer. And then as far as the board of directors goes, Dennis, KG6ZI, and Bob, and I don't remember his call off the top of my head, but I will get it right now.
PA9 MDP, I think.
MDP.
MDP. I'm still trying to remember it too.
Yeah,
PA9 MDP, yeah.
Yeah,
okay. And then Carol.
and Carol.
PP4MD.
So that's our existing setup, which is led us through this year to where we are, and they're all prepared, subject to Carol's conditional approval to proceed with that. All prepared to run and be considered for next year.
Well, I vote for stability.
So do you want us all to raise our hands if we're in favor?
Or just you can send these little chat things down here.
I move to accept the slate of officers by acclamation.
Oh,
And there's my hand.
All right. Oh, there it
mine-
is. See now, Bob's got it. He's got.
Okay. Okay, there goes my right hand. Rich went up in the air.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
Now, of
see.
course, everybody knows I voted now,
Yeah.
but
I
hey,
second the motion.
but I didn't vote for myself.
So we have a motion on the floor to vote in the slate of officers and board members.
Okay,
to
who's
serve-
going to put
presently
that up?
serving, to serve again in 2024.
Okay,
Subject to, in the case of Carol, KP4MD, her agreeing to do so. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Uh,
All right,
All those opposed, nay. None opposed.
unanimous.
The slate of officers has just been approved for 2020.
Congratulations.
Yep. All right, so the
Pardon?
next item we have here on this agenda, I wasn't sure about these little QSTs that John always has been doing. I only have the November issue of QST magazine.
they did not send out December issues to anybody, even the people that paid the extra money.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I had a couple of club members here in Davis complain that they had paid the extra $25 and they never received their December QSTs. So
Oh, well, maybe,
Are they just delayed?
oh,
Paper
maybe,
I don't know.
what can be a delay?
I don't know. I have to call them because I can no longer access the website with my login, and I think it's because I used the old W6FM website
That's
as a
why,
mail.
that's why, yeah.
And you can't change it. You have to call them up and they have to change it. So tomorrow.
Yeah,
Did you get yours? Okay,
I got
very good.
mine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bob, if you want to, you could do little.
Did
You
hear
can
what
flip open to the
Did you hear what we just did, Bob?
You could do the 150 and 25 year ago.
Oh, there you go.
I don't have the December issue. I only have November's. Now Bob is on mute right now.
can see his lips.
There you go.
Bob is trying to flip through the magazine and see what he can see. All right.
Can you sign?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, good. Good audio.
You can sign too, right?
Okay. Well, of December 1923, the cover picture shows the boiled owl, a ham who has stayed up all night to enjoy good conditions and work DX until the sun peaks over the horizon.
Ooh, that's I did that back in the day. Yeah.
The fourth transatlantic tests are approaching. Concentration is on European operator transmissions. North American amateurs are asked to listen only. The editorial, "Be a Sport," explains why.
Mm.
And FMJ Murphy 8 ml discusses the particulars of the Edison storage battery, including what's inside and how to make them last longer in Edison storage B batteries. And some common sense tuner advice for the results you want is discussed in Shortwave Tuner Design by K.E. Hassel, 9ZN. Okay, so now we move to December of 1973. And the cover
50
shows
years.
ARRL staff QSL cards adorning a Christmas tree, wishing season's greetings to all of us. In Seems to Us, the 220 decision discusses the FCC's plan to put Class E CB users on 224 megahertz, and that the plan is contrary to the recommendations of the study that it had already bought and paid for. And so the next one is How to Build a Single Sideband Transmitter by Howard J. Stark, WA4MTH, a simple construction project that will give you a better understanding of the single sideband generation process and will be helpful in troubleshooting manufactured gear. They described a efficient 3-band vertical system for 20, 40, and 80 meters. The Dayton Hamvention speaker Arthur K. Mean, VE3RX, reflects on our shortcomings as well as our good points in international friendship through amateur radio. And let's see. Portable operation can be a problem with regard to getting all the required equipment packed into a small container. Doug DeMaw, W1CER, outlines his travel kit in Strays, putting it all together. And finally, December of 1998, the cover has a miniature Santa with a bit of silver garland and some ham hardware. And it says Happy Holidays. And in his It Seems to Us, David Sumner, K1ZZ, comments on the 75th anniversary of the most important milestones in the history of radio communication. And combining a passion for climbing, radio, and mountaineering leads to strapping on gear and heading out for field day. And it's called In the Shadow of a Diamond. And a compact, lightweight power supply with an efficient switching design is described in a 13.8 volt, 40 amp switching power supply. And technical correspondence, repair it yourself. J. Craswell, W0, Victor, November, Echo, suggests that before you spend time and money sending your equipment to a repair shop, try cleaning it up. So that's what happened 150 and 25 years ago in the world of amateur radio.
Well done.
Good done. Very good. Good reader.
Good memory.
Okay. I'm counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting 7 of us here.
We had
Oh,
10.
yeah, there's more than that, Chris.
Okay, I got Phil, I got
We
Michelle.
got 10 here, Chris.
Oh, we got 10 here? Let's see what I
We
got
do.
here. I got myself, I got CIM, that's what I pronounced it right, David, and RM Phil, ZI, Bob, TGQ, and KIX, who I'm missing.
Kevin.
You got a Kevin.
Oh, Kevin, hey, Kevin.
He,
What else is
he's muted now.
Oh, he's
We
muted.
got a John,
got a- Oh,
KE0ZUW.
ZUW is in there. All right,
Yeah.
every count's going up now.
Yeah, and I'm in there too. Andy, KK,
Andy.
Zulu Golf
And
Delta.
Andy, okay, Andy, we got you too. ZGD. All right, now we're looking better.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good. We have a good turnout for the meeting tonight.
Yeah, good. Now we get John to get off his
Off his bad leg.
bad leg and check in here.
Yeah. So can I go back to the bug roundup a little bit then?
You're
You're the
Yeah,
boss.
So Chris, how many operating positions did you have over the weekend?
oh, let's see. From memory, I did Friday night, 4 to 6. I did 10 to midnight, and Saturday I did 2 to 4. And I think I came back and did 10 to midnight again. And then I came back from 10 to noon Sunday. They were abysmal on Sunday morning, not too good at all.
No,
Yeah, and Rob, you were active too.
I got about 20 kilo short, I think. That's
I had 2 shifts, but I was on a lot when I
were.
wasn't on shift.
Right, I saw you post a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a log, David, and when I get it all written up for you.
Yeah, so
Trying to back
because
translate it from Braille didn't come out too good, so I'm going through it. So
yeah,
I'll get it
Yeah,
to you. I'll get that what's in the log too, right? To you, not to Bob.
yeah, that'd be great. Send it to the club mail's fine.
You bet. I'll get it to
Yeah,
you.
and it needs to get done there. Yeah, because I saw Rob out there.
But I worked with a lot of new people this year, which was great, and that's always nice. And old faces too, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Steve was out there.
Steve,
George, he was operating as well. Mike LQ.
you guys, we were there.
And then I operated right
Mike.
after Mike.
Oh, that's not Mike. Speaking of Mike, yeah, I gotta get him in here.
Let's see here. John operated out of Kansas. So John, tell us about your experience with Bug Roundup.
I worked him.
No, I was asking John.
I know. I worked John, ZUW. I did.
Yeah, but it's John.
Yeah, I had fun.
You did? All right.
Yeah, I worked
Good.
president. I worked the club station call on Friday and Saturday, and then on Sunday I took a 2-hour stint, and I don't remember, and I'm not finding the log that I sent in.
Oh, maybe that's the only
This
one
was
I
my
have.
first attempt to use the bug on the air.
Mhm.
I can send it about 18, but I copy it about 15. And so there was a comment about 15 being awful slow for bugs. And I would agree, it is. I've got mine slowed down. But it was a challenge for me to catch the little difference with the bug. And then because it does sound different, and
Yep.
pick up what I was hearing, and that was a good thing. It's a challenge, and that's what this whole journey's been about, trying to go from a brand new ham in February of 2020 to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Good.
So John,
That'll be
if you
right.
had a bug, John, if you had a bug that could go pretty slow, do you think you'd stick with it, or?
The challenge is not the bug at 18, it's the copy at 15.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. If I can get the copy speed up, maybe 20, I can speed the
Right.
bug up. And then in the bug roundup, anyway, I got more people to talk to.
Okay.
Evidently, Benny what, K5, GR, GV? He was
Okay,
kind of concerned about
K5,
why it was
KV.
so slow.
yeah.
Well, yeah. So, hey, Chris,
Yeah.
that brown bug of mine that you have,
You mean the lefty?
no, it's the cinnamon colored base one that I fixed.
I don't know that the
Um,
color helps.
Oh,
in-
that one,
in a
yeah,
des-
yeah.
Description.
Yeah, okay,
I got it, yeah. That
yeah,
one,
well,
that-
how fast do you think that thing goes or can be slowed down to? Because it's pretty slow.
it'll go down, well, let me think a minute. Yeah, it's pretty slow. It'll go down to about 17, 16, 17. It's
Yeah.
pretty slow
Okay,
for a bug. Now,
yeah,
that left-handed one I have here goes about, what do you think, about that same speed, about 15, 16, right in there?
yeah, something like that, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I usually use.
Yeah,
on
and
them.
the one that Jim is using,
Yeah, that's pretty slow too.
the Frankenbug, yeah.
Yeah, the
That's a pretty slow
Frankenbug.
bug too.
Yeah,
But yeah, the brown one's available if somebody needs it to, you know,
it's back,
to
it's
learn
back
on.
home. Yeah, you got it now. You got it back now, right?
No, it's still over at your house.
Okay, I gotta try. I don't know. I gotta go see
Yeah.
what it is. I got it on the shelf. I think I got it waiting for
Yeah,
you.
it's a really slow bug. It's a lot better than when I got it, but
It's not okay. It's not the
Is it a champion?
no, you got the champion.
no, it's an original bug. It was
Oh, it's the
made
original
about
bug. Okay.
1980.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was made about 1980.
Oh,
And
that bug. Okay, yeah, I have it on the air
yeah.
now. It's not that slow. Let me see here. Let me see here what it does here. I'll tell you right now. It goes about. Let's see. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, about that speed. Not real slow.
Okay.
Not as
Because
slow as you think it is.
when I got it home and the action was completely dead on it.
Yeah.
And I started taking a look at it, and I've found that the two rivets that were on the main armature for the mainspring, and the two rivets that were on the arm extension on the other side of the mainspring were not set. They were just pushed in. And so what I did is I set the rivets, tightened them all up, and got it working again. And it's a nice bug.
It plays
but it's
good,
really,
yeah.
it's a nice handling bug. And it's a cinnamon colored one.
Yeah, it's not
when
real
they had
slow. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
real slow because it's got that large weight on it. You recall?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah,
It
you think
does.
it'd be slower, but it isn't.
Right. Well, I put the two medium weights on it, and it slowed it way down. But it
Okay.
handles real nice, and it's available if somebody wants something to play with that it's not a speed demon,
No,
not like Chris's bug.
not that TAC is for sure. That thing spits out fire.
Well, the racer would too, but you got
The
that
Racer
thing
does
slowed
too. It
down.
tamed as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm checking it out now here. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
I
20.
thought
It's
maybe
about 23 on that bug.
What?
Judging by the ditch speed. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I think it's slower than that, but
You haven't had it here. You haven't used it for a while.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the right bug. It's a 1980s bug. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have it in line right now.
it's when they made the transition to Portland,
Correct.
Maine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
It does play
But-
nicely though.
Yeah, David, I thought that maybe we could use that as a loaner for somebody that might want to get on the air. Because that's a pretty tame bug. And I have enough bugs around here. Right now, I don't have any room for it. So
Yeah, the
if
lining is a
somebody
little
wants-
slower actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice handling bug though. It's a pretty bug, but
Yeah, it plays nice. It really does.
yeah, it does. It really
And
does.
it-
But I thought maybe I was hoping Bob would come and get it and learn how to get on the air with the bug. But so far, no Bob.
No Bob. I don't care what call you got. Long as it's Bob, he can come and get it.
MDP, yeah,
Right.
MDP, yeah.
NDP.
mhm,
The most demanding.
Yeah.
Well, he's retired now, so he probably doesn't have any spare time now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's busy now, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, John, when you were operating Bug Roundup, what states were you able to contact?
I remember getting Texas, several Californias, and Oregon. Um, I'm not seeing my my actual log for the stations I worked with the club call,
I was
but I
just
sent it off.
Yeah, I was just curious as to how your antenna system
I
functions.
seem to remember most of it being west, but I thought that was somewhat self-selective since uh, it's primarily a West Coast club. You know, from here I do pretty well on KCC or LICW, getting into New York or Florida or anywhere along the East Coast, as well as out west or up north or south. Sometimes depends on the band uh, or the conditions, and I'll have kind of a pipeline to several places. I mean, Fort Wayne just pops up all over the place, as well as Long Island and New York and Pennsylvania, and places all down that it's 73 degrees for me to Long Island, and I get lots of contacts with the beam heading at 70 to 75. But it just depends. I get a lot, you know, going down towards Tennessee and South Carolina and Florida. Uh, I had a 30-minute QSO with a guy just north of Atlanta, and I thought I was at full power. And the next day, I turned the rig on and found out I'd been at 5 watts the whole time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that happens. Yeah.
band conditions.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I do some QRP stuff, especially with four states QRP because they're all
Mhm.
around here.
Oh,
But I've had trouble getting Johnny, who's 75 miles up the road. On the bands the last couple of weeks, I hear everybody else, and I hope I check in when he's listening for check-ins, and
oh
I've
yeah.
been
We're always
successful.
listening. Can you hear us at all
But
back there?
is what?
Can you hear us at all back there on 80 at this time of year?
It would just depend on band conditions.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's probably not too
you know,
good now with the sunspot cycle, but
yeah, but tonight I was getting nothing on anything.
mm,
I mean, even looking at the reverse beacon networks, it was low, and where they were showing somebody, I wasn't getting anything.
mm,
So
probably a flare.
I'll have to put it on the calendar to tune in on those nets and see how it works.
Okay.
You know, it's just if the propagation's there, it seems to work, and sometimes the gods smile. I mean, Saturday night over Thanksgiving, I had like eight contacts, clear as a bell, in the Caribbean on 10 meters. You know, I went after a 10 meter POTA, and I started tuning around, and I found all these, you know, heard all these guys. And, you know, a lot of them are going 30 words a minute, and I found with that, if I listen to them make 15, 20 QSOs, I can get their call sign, even though I can't read that fast. And
Right.
then I can drop my call sign, and most of them don't miss a beat. If I drop it at 18 or 20, they'll come back and take my signal report at whatever I can send it. And I can hear the signal report at 30. I mean, that's
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And so I'm just working on getting everything else up to in the 22 to 24 range that I can just hear the words and not be trying to decipher the letters.
There you go. That's what it takes. Yeah, try to put yourself copy of for faster you can receive. You'll just start coming.
Well, and that's what they say. Get online, and I'd listen to a lot of QSOs that I can't copy and have no intention on jumping in on, but just listening, and that helps. And then I listen to a lot of the Morris Ninja stuff when I can.
Yeah.
He's got some good stuff out there, and it's coming.
Good.
Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that just don't bother to slow down,
Yeah.
for slower people. I think all of us would, but there's a couple of people out there that they don't care that you can't copy 25 words a minute. They're going to send it 25 no matter what.
Well,
So,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of those guys are the 1500 watts, and they're they've got a big beam, and they're using their keyboard. And, that's nice.
Yeah, for them.
Well, but
whatever.
my goal when I got my ticket back in 2020 was to go ahead and learn the CW. I was trying it when I was 12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
I had a key from Southern Pacific. My dad and his family were all from the Bay Area, and everybody worked for Southern Pacific. And the key belonged to my great uncle Sanford, who was a telegraph and station master for him. And he was stationed all over California in the 30s, 40s, and he died in 53. But it was his key and his sounder is what I was using.
All right.
Good.
And then I had got introduced to cars and girls.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
That'll do it.
And then when we cleaned out my dad's house, that key was nowhere to be found. I was looking for that key and the sounder, and I was looking for his hammer. Couldn't find any of it.
Wow, that's too bad.
And knowing my dad, I'll bet somebody else came along and was talking about learning Morse code, and Dad said, "Here."
Here you are. Yeah.
That's what we do. So
Rob, I did find the bug you're talking about. It did go down by 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad bug, but it was just made wrong. And actually, about a month after I bought it, there was a bug exactly like it on eBay overseas that was one digit away, his serial number, and I blew up the picture, and it had the same exact problem. So they must have had somebody new on the assembly line that never set the rivets on that bug.
I noticed the dot post, to plug to plug the hook the key up.
Right.
It's shorter screw on one, so you can't put one of those little ring that we use. You gotta use.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Well, they started getting a little bit cheaper, Chris.
Yeah. I changed the
so they
screw
use
out,
shorter screws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I changed that. How are you? Make it longer, but it keeps it this way. So I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll fix it up if somebody needs it. I'll fix it up and we'll get it to them so they can at least have a fighting chance. I don't think they make any bugs nowadays that can go that slow.
So
I thought the Blue Rangers do now. I know David go pretty slow.
Yeah, Rob, I was going to ask you. You may have mentioned it, but what is the make and model and approximate year of this bug?
It's a Viperplex original model, and it was probably made about 1980. when Viperplex was sold and it was moved up to Portland. And it's in beautiful condition, but I've learned the hard way that the older a bug, if you get them and they're in really good shape, there's a problem with them because it means nobody used them. So so you know, if you find an older bug that's in really, really good shape, it usually means that there's a problem with them. So I mean, it doesn't mean you can't get them for a collection or something, but if you're looking for a bug to use, that's you know, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a project. So
The Alberto Fertini, he ships out with 2 weights. It will go very slow. And the KN4YB, the 90-degree bug, will also go really slow. So those are a couple. I've never found a Vibroplex that'll go all that slow unless you
no.
add a whole bunch of weight.
And if you do it, it feels funny when you get too many weights on it. It gets real sluggish. So, you know, there's a point of no return.
All right, well,
I
John,
well.
I just want to thank you again for participating as an operator, you know, being in Kansas. Because it gives the club an opportunity to show that out-of-state members and even out-of-country members can participate. And
Well,
that's what
it was a challenge and I had a good time. I'll probably skip a couple as I keep working on the speed of my copy and come back when I get it up there a ways and we'll try it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Very good.
We'll be working some K3Y for SKCC again. That event really makes me work at it and learn how to put up with the QRM and the QRN and the QSB and
Oh yeah, that's a challenge. Different when I listen to it on and when it's nice and clear. There's no QRM, huh?
Yeah, it's nice when there's not, but you know that solar cycle is going to change, and I better be ready for it.
Well, you better when it's good now, so enjoy it.
You bet. Then I can work hard when it changes and goes back the other way.
Yep.
Speaking of solar cycles, what's up with the sun right now? I saw some video or some pictures with some big spaces in the sun or some big storm going on or something. Anybody see that? Guess not. Sun is still shining, but there were some predictions of some major solar storms coming up.
So speaking of that, Mike, how did it go for you on your little trip during the eclipse? Mike, go away.
No, Mike's there.
Oh, here. No Mike.
Oh, yeah, I went out to western Nevada to the Ruby Range, where the center of the axis of the total, no, it wasn't total, it was the annular eclipse. I couldn't do 2 things at once, so meaning, you know, we did have they did the citizen science HF contest of the eclipse. Actually, I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the January meeting, I think. So I'll save it for that meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I was busy putting the second weight on the Alberto.
Yeah, I listened to about 9:15. I was about 8. I was in and out, but I didn't notice any changes in the conditions that I could tell. Everything was still normal for those bands. Unlike 2017 when it was a total eclipse.
All right.
Anyway, interesting.
Well, maybe this is a good time to get refreshments, but we're not all together at John's, so everybody's doing their own thing anyway. So, Phil, if you want to, I'm going to hand the call to you. Share screen, I think, without me having to do anything right now, and you can offer your presentation.
Here's the J36 with both the weights from Alberto Frattini.
Can't hear it. We had this problem once before. Apparently Zoom cuts off that lower audio.
Yeah, it doesn't like music. Are you on a PC or on a phone?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop.
Okay. You're in Windows, right? There is you go into settings, in the audio settings, there's a music mode. You can put in the music mode and that should work. What do they call that? Can't remember now, but that works every time. But it doesn't. They don't put it under by default, and it's really a problem when you're trying to play music through it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I go through this every week with my church audio people. They just forget to change it.
Huh. Is it under sound or
Yeah, in audio settings. Yeah.
troubleshoot? I'm not seeing something that jumps out at me. Oh, troubleshoot. Oh,
I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but you can, once you see it, you'll know what it is. It's in the, when you go into, what do you call that? Come on, Chris. I haven't done it for a while. But it's definitely there.
I think under apps, there's a field for music. Oh, maybe not. Maybe that's not the one. It looks like something I don't want to be involved with.
well, we don't need to worry about it. You can
Yeah.
go ahead with your presentation, but that is interesting that it won't do it. Yeah. Sound control panel.
No, it's in the, not in Windows, it's in the Zoom setting. I'm sorry.
In the what settings?
The setting for Zoom.
Oh, it's a Zoom setting. Oh.
Yeah, I should have been more clear. Sorry. Under audio.
Hmm.
They don't have it in the mobile app, they're only in Windows, not in the Mac, not in the Linux.
Hmm.
Not on your iPhone app, just the Windows.
Well, I'm not finding it. But apps.
Okay, I'll let you know next time, or you can look it up. I'll find out where it is, give you a better idea.
Okay, are we on to the next item?
Yeah.
I think we should.
Okay.
Phil,
All right, Phil, I'm going to hand the Zoom call to you.
All right. Well, I've got my field up, so
Yeah, I think you should
There
be
we-
able to share the screen when you're ready.
I clicked share the screen, and what I've got on my screen is a presentation. Do you guys see it?
Let's try this here.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
That's me. Disregard it.
Oh,
That's my error. I was trying to be of help, but I guess I wasn't. So let's get rid of that. One participant. Yeah, you should be able to do it here.
Share screen. There we go.
All right.
You see it now?
yes.
We're doing it.
Okay. You want me to start, or you guys want to take a snack break?
Why don't you go ahead?
All right. You guys may recall a couple of months ago, John had me do something on the W7ZOI spectrum analyzer. You guys remember that?
Yep.
And unfortunately, I opened my big mouth and said I built another one.
Oh,
Someone asked if I would be pleased to share that experience as well. So what you're looking at is what the big box looked like that I built. This spectrum analyzer goes up to 4 gigahertz. And that's what it looks like on the inside. You see all these little tiny modules? The smaller ones are about an inch square. The big ones are about an inch by 2 inch. And all this stuff in between them, all that spaghetti is a whole bunch of SMA cables. And then the bottom down here, this is the interface. It's a USB interface to this control board. So here's a block diagram of this beast. And as I said, it goes up to 4 gigahertz. Everything in here is surface mount. And it's actually a pretty remarkable piece of equipment. The design dates back to, I think, 2001. You can see there's a lot of stuff in that box. 2017 is this drawing date, but I think it goes back even further. So here's the basic spectrum analyzer. I guess maybe it only goes to 3 gigahertz. But it's not just a spectrum analyzer, it's also a vector network analyzer. The spectrum analyzer tracking generator. It's a pretty remarkable piece of equipment. Not only that, as you build it, it's got built-in testing features. So as each module is completed, you can test the modules with your spectrum analyzer. So here's what goes in it. There are 17 of these boards, 309 surface mount capacitors, 187 surface mount resistors, 25 surface mount inductors, only 43 integrated circuits. It's quite an undertaking. The first IF is at 1013 megahertz. It's a 4-pole cavity resonator design. This is my homemade cavity resonator. And these are the tuning screws to dial it in. Here's another picture of it with a scale. That whole assembly is about 6 inches long. A lot of solder. And here is the performance of that cavity resonator. You can see that this band pass is pretty clean and tidy. And you can see that it's not a particularly good match. What did I say this SWR was? insertion loss is almost 7 dB. And the SWR, where did I have that, is 3.9. So when I built that module, I didn't quite get the coupling. In fact, let me back up. You can see this is the input SMA connector, and this is the output SMA connector. And each module is linked with a small coupling link between these poles. And if you don't get those exactly right, you end up with an SWR that's as ugly as mine. But that filter works pretty good. That's pretty good suppression pass through on that filter. It's a nice curve. And so here's another picture of that SWR. And it's supposed to be right at 1013. And guess what? I'm at 1012.99 megahertz. Is that close enough?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's a nice curve, though, don't you think? I mean, that filter is performing pretty damn well. Look at how deep those skirts are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're down
Pretty
over
good.
70 dB, and actually go further up, it's over 80 dB skirt. So here's some of these boards. Remember, there were, what I tell you, 17 boards.
Wow.
This is a direct digital synthesizer chip, and it generates a 10.7 megahertz. The second IF is 10.7. So over here is the interface that goes to the clock control. All this is done, as I said, with the with your computer. What am I trying to say? Computer port. And this little module is actually this board. And you can see the size of these ICs. This whole board from here to here is 1 inch. And so there's capacitors and regulators and resistors and capacitors and what is that, probably 32 pins on that one that one chip. Here's some other DDS output stuff and inductors and all that stuff. Putting this together was a bit of a challenge. And this is the interface. This is a header. The spacing between these pins is a standard 100 thousandths pin spacing for a header. So you can give you an idea what the scale is. And then these are some phase locked oscillators. There's 3 of those in this thing. It's the same kind of thing. It's got an onboard regulator. This is, I can't remember what that one is. I don't know what that module is, that ROS module, but a couple of op amps, more power. And then this is, this must be the phase lock loop. Yeah, phase lock loop. And again, there's a lot of stuff on these boards. That's what that one looks like. And again, 1 inch by about 3, as I recall. This in turn is
Phil,
yes.
Is there enough output to drive an old tube rig off of these things?
Well, this doesn't drive a rig. This is a spectrum analyzer.
Right. Well, I'm just wondering if it could be used for, you know, with some of the old boat anchor rigs, but
it'd be a long way around to get there. I mean, you could do it. It's not the way I would approach it. I mean, you can use one of these SI 5351s and a lousy 2N 3904 transistor and drive a boat anchor.
Right.
So there's no sense in going to all this stuff. This is pretty exotic stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, in the design of this thing, he's got within the instructions how you can test each module as you build this thing. I think it took me about, I don't know, maybe 2 months to build this. There's a lot going on. Here is here is using that spectrum analyzer. It's looking at its own 10 megahertz oscillator. You can see how clean that signal is.
It's beautiful.
And here's another look. This one is a filter, bandpass filter, and you can see the suppression goes down to minus 100 dB.
Wow.
Which is almost heard of. Resolution bandwidth filter, 15 kilohertz. Pretty impressive, huh? And these are actual screenshots off of the system. This is the pass band through the 10.7 megahertz crystal filter. It's 4 kilohertz wide. And this is down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, about 60 dB to,
wow.
to the noise floor. Pretty effective. And here is, measuring phase shift. This is an actual trace off of this thing. Look how linear those phase traces are. Again, down to minus 100 dB. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's really exotic. This thing's not built anymore. You still got some stuff on the web. It's listed as Scotty's spectrum analyzer. You can take a look at it. This little guy, Scotty, a little Texan guy, came up with this design because he was fixing some stuff at home. He's a retired engineer. I think he did a lot of aerospace stuff. And he came up with this thing so he could deal with his own stuff. And then the ham radio community jumped on it. And I would say that, throughout the civilized world, there may be a couple of hundred of these that have been built. I got into it because I wanted more than I could do with my ZOI, which is only 60 megahertz analyzer. So going up to 3 gigahertz is quite an improvement. But I wouldn't advise anybody to get into this. This is about as far as you want to push the hobby. I'm surprised I did it myself. It was quite an undertaking. But again, it performed incredibly well. And then I bought a real one. They needed some more features that I couldn't do here. The resolution bandwidth filters, there's only basically 2 of them. Use what you use for a crystal filter at the tail end. And the stuff you buy today, I mean, even this tiny SA has more resolution bandwidth filters than I had after all this effort. And for $60, you can buy a tiny SA. But again, this is a dual conversion receiver. You think it's tough to build your ham rig. Wait till you try to build something like this.
Right.
It's quite a design. Look at all the stuff in that box. That's the IF right there. That's that crystal filter. This is the USB. This is the control board. This is a set of relays that allow you to switch between various crystal filters. I can't read the rest of it, but there's a whole bunch of phase lock loops and direct digital synthesis chips and other stuff. Any questions about this mess?
Wow.
So, Phil, what motivated you to build this?
I needed a spectrum analyzer.
You didn't want to spend the money.
The money, I mean, the cheapest thing you could buy in the used market at the time was in the thousands of dollars range.
Right.
Wow.
And I like to tell this story. I was piddling around. I wanted to build a buried cable locator of some exotic idea I had. But to do that, you need to be able to make some of these measurements. And as I said, I couldn't I couldn't find the equipment to do it. So I thought in terms of, if you were building a hot rod, you need tools. So, the first thing you do to build a hot rod is you build your own wrenches, right? Wrong. This is one of those wrenches. And it was a pretty exotic wrench. I was pretty proud of this cavity resonator. Can you
So
imagine
another
making one of those?
Another question, Phil.
What's that?
Where did you source all the materials for this?
One of the people that was doing these builds had actually produced the artwork for the boards. So I bought the boards. I can't remember if I had them made or if I bought them from somebody that bought 2 or 3 runs on them. But all the rest of the pieces came from people like DigiKey. That part was pretty easy. And of course, you go down to your Ace Hardware store to find 1-inch copper pipe. That's what that is.
Mm.
And then this was some sheet brass I think I used for the 2 end plates. What else? This was done with the Nano VNA, this plot.
Really?
And then this one's done on my DG8 SAQ network analyzer. I love this particular product. It's an absolute favorite. The manual goes with this network analyzer is 700 pages.
Mm.
You can do things with this thing that you can't even imagine. And then, as I said, there's just, and all of these boards are just like this. I mean, they're all built the same way, high density surface mount. And you see all these little holes? That's to tie the 2 layers of the board together to suppress noise.
Wow.
Holes are for. Bond the ground planes. Pretty exotic stuff. And it worked. Any other questions?
That part
Wow.
list, can you go back to that part list?
Oh, the breakdown part, sure.
Yeah.
Right here.
Wow.
4 mixers. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. 3 phase lock loops. I screwed up. I didn't put the part count in for the IF amplifier. Phase detector.
Those
Couple-
individual resistors and caps, you had to surface mount each one of those?
Oh yeah. It's all surface mount.
So you said 2 months. How many hours?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, per day, how many hours a day on the average would you say? 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or?
Some of those modules are pretty quick. You can knock them out in 30 minutes. Some took
Uh-huh.
longer than that. But I had a problem with it. When I got it all done, let me show you one of these. Yeah, this is a good one. You see all these control lines here and here and here and here and here and here. They all have a little capacitor to ground, 100 picofarads. Yeah, 100 picofarads. Those are, because it's a common bus for all these control lines, they try and filter the noise out of it. So all of these lines have these little capacitors, and they're in parallel. The boards have a number of bits, and all the bits are tied together to the same port.
Mm.
Well, those of you who've worked with surface mount resistors are identified with the value. Surface mount capacitors, for the most part, are not identified with the value. So when I was putting this together, my DigiKey parts, they were in separate little bags. And somehow, some of these that say 100 picofarads ended up being 1,000 picofarads.
Oh.
So when they're in parallel, the guy that's got the 1,000 picofarads is going to steal all all the energy, and the guy with 100 picofarads is not going to get anything. And then you got to try and figure out how it went wrong. That was the biggest challenge with it. I was on the phone with this guy Scotty for a couple hours while I tracked it down, and then I figured out what had happened, went through, changed the capacitors, and everything worked fine. But it's like anything else you build, there's always something, and finding the something is a bit of a challenge on occasion. Same story here. You can see these control lines with these 100 picofarad capacitors. Now, if you wonder why I am like I am, it's because I do crap like this.
Oh,
It's a sure sign of a demented mind.
Your hands must still be steady, though.
I'm sorry.
yeah.
So your hands still must be steady.
Well, they were. Carol bought one of these little tiny SAs, and there's a attenuator chip on that tiny SA, and they're extremely sensitive to overload. So she was doing something with that tiny SA, and she blew that attenuator chip. Now, that attenuator chip is probably 150,000 square, 150,000 on each side. And on each side, there's like 8 pins. And I changed that attenuator for her, replaced it, and it actually worked. But my hands are shaking so much that it's a challenge. Surface mount is great until you get old.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a bit of a task. I just love these curves. Look at that. Isn't that perfect?
So
Okay.
Phil, Scotty designed this spectrum analyzer some time ago.
Yes.
You needed a spectrum analyzer.
Yes.
You researched and found this design online.
Yeah. It's online now.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm talking back in the day when you did this. And of course, I would imagine this takes some specialized tools to build. Did you have to fabricate anything?
You need a hot air soldering iron.
Yeah.
That's a necessity. You need some good eyes, so you wear a lot of magnification, like a jeweler's loupe. And aside from that, that's pretty straightforward. Now, building that filter, I happen to have a kind of a poor man's machine shop. I got a little tiny milling machine, and I have a lathe. And so I was able to kind of machine some bosses in this brass plate so everything fits nicely. That would be the hardest part is building that filter.
And then in the marketplace at the time when this type of a spectrum analyzer would be built at quantities, how much were they selling these things for?
I built this for about $400. And as I said, the cheapest spectrum analyzer you could find on the used market was $2,500, $3,000, $4,000.
Yeah. That's assuming
And
everything.
you didn't know what you were buying. Just because they say it's good doesn't mean it's good. And if you got to send it to Hewlett Packard or Tektronix to have them solve the problem, you're in serious trouble.
Did the Scotty design discover any new design flaws or ideas or advances?
There have been, I don't know how many enhancements to the design. A number of these modules, he calls them slim modules, have changed over the years. They've used different ICs in the design. So there's several different variations of this thing that have been built. They all work just about the same.
Yeah, but you're real pleased with how this one turned out.
I was pretty happy with it, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I ran into this resolution bandwidth issue, and I was looking for a good solution, and about that time, Wriggle came out with this. What is it? Hang on a second here. Oh, the DSA 815. It's a 1500 megahertz spectrum analyzer with a tracking generator and great resolution bandwidth filters, good performance. And it was about $1,500. So I just built a bit to bullet and spent my $1,500 and bought myself a real spectrum analyzer.
Yeah, like you got a museum there, spectrum analyzers,
Well,
almost.
I've got so much crap you can't believe it, and none of it's worth anything except the real vendor stuff.
Yeah.
At one point, I had 13 or 14 oscilloscopes. In fact, I had one oscilloscope that was good to 1 gigahertz, real-time analog oscilloscope.
Oh, that could have been a nice one.
Just absolutely beautiful. The only issue with something like that is rarely do you have a need for anything with that kind of bandwidth.
No.
And when I bought it, I brought it home, fired it up, and it was gorgeous. I mean, you could display things you just can't even begin to imagine, but you really don't need it. And the more it's set around here, I felt pretty bad about having it around here. So a friend of mine is a professor down at Stanford, Professor Tom Lee. He runs the high frequency lab. He wrote a book called what is it? CMOS ICs for high frequency. He teaches you how to build gigahertz integrated circuits using CMOS for pretty high frequency stuff. So anyhow, I was talking to Tom one day and I said, I've got this scope. I want you to take it and use it in your lab. And so I donated it to Stanford. What a beautiful piece of equipment. 100 megahertz scope will do just about anything you run into. And I still got a bunch of those. So anyhow, that was the story of Scotty's spectrum analyzer with cavity resonator, first IF, and all kinds of surface mount stuff, and lots of resistors and capacitors, and a bunch of SMA cables. Look at all those cables. Looks like it's spaghetti, doesn't it?
Rat's nest.
It's definitely a rat's nest.
Yeah,
but it performed.
What an
Very
accomplishment.
well. Yeah, that's great.
It's different.
Hey Phil, that box you put it in, that looks like it's that could be used for different purposes, that box.
That is an industrial NEMA 14 oil tight, dust tight, rain tight enclosure.
Yeah.
The manufacturer, Hoffman Engineering,
Yeah.
screwed up on an order and shipped us this enclosure with our normal stock order. It didn't belong in the order. They didn't want it back, so I appropriated it for my spectrum analyzer. Pretty nice box.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Any
That's
other
great.
questions about this? No?
None heard. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. Nice.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, that's a whole that's a little different than antenna couplers, Dennis.
Yeah,
Just a little bit, huh?
just a bit.
If there's anything strange going on, look in my direction. I'm probably right in the middle of it.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hey, Chris, did you try to call me on CW a while back?
And I was just playing around. I put that slow bug on there.
Well, I could barely make out that it was you. I guess the band conditions aren't very good for us.
Oh, well, let me see.
You were just above the noise.
Wow, that's unusual. Well, that was 100 watts.
Where's the noise for you right now?
About S5.
Huh?
You on the vertical or
You
on
were
the,
really, really dim.
I think that was me. I don't know. We're doing something. Hang on a minute.
So, Chris, can you outline for us the next activities for the club in January?
All right. Well, as I said earlier, before everybody showed up, our next meeting will be January 4. And I think we'll be back at John's QTH. And the next event will be at Bob NSIC PGQ's location on the 13th, which will be NAQP, now, North America QSO Party. And then we have Winter Field Day, last weekend in January. I think Mike LQ is working on that. Anything to say on that, Mike?
Yeah, it'll be up at Dutch Flat.
Dutch Flash, yeah. So that's what's going on in January.
Okay, and then the
Straight key night too.
A great key night is on New Year's Eve and on your New
yeah.
Year's Day. Yeah.
what time does that start at?
Yep. New Year starting at 0000 UTC 4 o'clock here PM on the 31st. And they allow bugs now on straight key.
Yeah,
You can use your straight-
can W6SFM kind of participate in that too?
I guess we could if we wanted to.
We
We
could
haven't.
probably have
We
an
have not in the
operator
past.
sign up,
I don't know why we couldn't.
you know?
Yeah, we could. You know what we could do for fun, Rob, is we could just set it up, announce it to the club. There's not enough time to promote it a whole lot, but
Yeah.
put it out there, and we could set Chat Tango up for it. We could do the sign up genie deal, and yeah, maybe what you get some spots that people will operate for the club. How long is the event for?
24 hours.
Oh, okay.
24 hours. Yeah.
24 hours, yeah.
Yeah, do first come, first serve.
First come, first serve.
Right. First come,
It's
first
only
serve. Yep.
24 hours. No, that's a great idea, Rob.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good.
I've just figured to kind of get us out there, and we're a CW club anyway. So
Yeah, because a lot
you
of
know,
I'm usually out there a little bit. I know Rob is,
Yeah.
and I heard Mike LQ out there.
Yeah, I'm always doing it.
Yep.
And John's out there when he's not, yeah, we're all usually out there.
Let's do
So
it.
why not?
Yeah, just another, worldwide
Yeah.
event to participate in. So
That's right. That's right.
we could just keep SFM on the air for more.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. All right. Well, that'll be. I'll reach out to Bob and I'll get the 411 from him. If he's not able to put that sign up deal together, I'll find out from him how to do that. I'm going to be in town through December and January, so that works out good. And actually, that kind of motivates me to get on the air. So that's
All right.
thank you for that, Rob. So we'll do
Bunch
that.
of antisocial hams on New Year's Eve.
Right.
Exactly. I'm not
There'll
a
be
party.
a lot of divorces towards the first of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm,
At least you're not out on the road with all the drunks.
that's right. That's right. You know where you are
yeah.
behind that key. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get that launched. So let's see, so that will be, we have a board meeting in 2 weeks, 21st, but that'll be our next club event, January 4th, and the 13th at Bob's PGQ, and then Winter Field Day. And then on Winter Field Day, how is Winter Field Day different from the Summer Field Day? I know it's not as probably as active.
No, it's not an ARL.
It's not as
sanction-
long. It's, yeah, I don't think it's
sanctioned
as
event.
long either.
No,
It is 24 hours.
it is? Okay.
It is, okay.
Yeah, they have the three different classifications, home, away from home, and then in a outdoor shelter, like a tent or something like that, without walls and heat and power and all that kind of stuff. So similar exchanges, the ARL sections. Yeah, it's very similar to the same field day. It's just a bunch of bored Midwestern people that got tired of ice fishing and came up with this. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, that's what it is.
And then do you turn in the logs?
Yeah,
You do.
yeah,
okay.
turn in the logs.
They also don't let you use FT8.
Oh, good.
Thank God.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, they're a little bit more
Amen.
traditionalist.
All right. Thank God there's some sense out there.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a note of that here. Yeah, we'll bring it up at the board meeting. That's coming up 2 weeks from tonight. I think we're still having it, 21st.
Yeah, I think we are. And then the update here on the QSL card. We Mike LQ produced a beautiful high resolution photograph of his shack as he assembled everything together for the photo, and we got that uploaded to our printer publisher, and we're waiting on a proof right now for that. And as soon as I get that, I'll be sending that to the board and Mike to review, and hopefully we'll have those available for us for the winter field day.
Yeah, and Al, the guy who's doing it, lives less than a mile from me. I actually know the guy.
You know? Yeah.
You know, it's awful nice of him to do those for gratis.
It is.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does it for clubs. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that for River City as well.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it's an automated system he's established with Radio QSL, and there's probably a dozen different companies, all ham operators that set these companies up, and he has a unique way of how he takes the order, and you fill out a form, and then they put it together. So it's a nice. He's a pretty smart guy, and so I really like the user interface on the program on how he does it. And it's a real gift for the club. He should actually become a member of the club.
He is a member. Oh, not our club, though.
Yeah, of our club. And I've talked to him over the years. I said, Al, come on. But he says he has some dyslexia or something like that. He says, I don't know if I can do it. And but he likes to talk. So I think he's single sideband.
He's on 2 meters all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you don't want to, if you're short for time, you don't want to have a conversation with him. You don't want to bring up new topics.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So, but anyways, that's our report there on that project.
Cool.
And that'll be. We like to do our QSL cards slowly so that we get a high quality card.
He produces a nice looking card.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice, and it's a new start for us. So,
What's the River City Art card look like? Hey, Phil, you got one you can show?
Let me look. I know I did have one at one point.
You could describe it in your spare time.
I guess I don't. No, I guess I don't.
Is it a photo based or
Yeah, it's
an illustration of the logo? Or
it's a glossy photo front.
Of what?
In our case, it's our River City banner.
Okay.
We've got Noah's Ark filled with hams and a beam on top of it. I'm pretty sure you'll see it on our webpage.
Cool. Thanks.
All right.
Well, as we enter into the next year, the club is strong, and we have a good membership base. We'll be sending out reminder notices here as soon as I can. Let's see, December 7th. So yeah, I should start sending those out this weekend if I'm able to. And generally what we do is we build the membership back up during the first quarter. So I'll have to figure out. I can talk to the board about this too. But our website right now has paid memberships posted through 2023. And then if anybody does join right now, I add them to that roster.
We actually have one paid through 2024.
Yeah, I was going to say,
That's right.
I've seen some of those come through right now.
So you're due by February 29. Yeah.
So, but financially, the club's strong. Our expenses are low. We did talk at the last board meeting, and we probably should mention that here now at our club meeting. We talked about really making it a goal to start teaching again.
Yeah, we did.
And we haven't figured out how to do it, but we said, well, let's start with making that our goal, and then start having conversations about what our options might be and what we can create so that we have a teaching forum. It's not going to be the same as it was before.
Right.
It'll be how we create it.
And, I'm in firm belief that in order for the club to grow, we have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we look for like a community room that's available at like one of the libraries or something? Or
libraries are available to everyone.
Yeah.
That's what we use River City for our club. And I know that North Hills actually uses the Sacramento City libraries for their meetings. You just have to reserve them in advance.
Right.
Yeah.
And typically the libraries shut down at 6, and they will allow you to have that room until I think 9.
Okay, that's reasonable. Yeah.
Which and all that works very well.
And no fee?
No fee.
There they are.
So what we'll do is come up with a curriculum and a staff of volunteers, and just announce the first session. We don't have to commit to the future as much as I think we want to commit to this is what we're doing, these are the dates, and put it out there. And then I think it'll just organically grow and find the interest that it's going to take. But it is a big volunteer commitment for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
You take that special person that says, I really have a passion to do this, and to get that launched. So that's our hope for the future of 2024.
That's a great goal for 2024.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Big one, but a good one. Yeah.
But a really good one for sure. And other clubs, that we have that going. I mean, there's different ways people can learn CW. For sure, Long Island's a great example online. But being able to have, because we are a Morse code club and we are in Sacramento area, to have that as a feature really sets us apart, and will help those that really want to learn in that manner.
Oops.
So that's good news right there. Any other items to discuss tonight? John signed off. He told us all.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much covered it.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I think I'll leave you. Thank you ever so much.
All right.
Thank you, Phil, for
Great
your
Well,
presentation.
thank you, Phil.
Hey, I thank Scotty for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. See you
Hi,
guys.
everybody.
Everybody call Scotty up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's quite a character.
Hey, y'all. We like your pressure analyzer. Yeah.
Okay. Did
Okay.
Come on, folks. Merry
Okay.
Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas, guys.
Christmas. Okay.
Merry
night.
Christmas.
Night all.
See you
Good
around.
night.
Good night.
All right.